If, like me, you're comfortably on the wrong side of 30, you might find that you need to get up in the night to go to the loo occasionally. It's just part of getting old. But what is annoying is having to turn on a big light that then wakes you up, meaning you can't get back to sleep for quite a long time afterwards. Luckily, this exists. This small Chinese circle of photon-flinging goodness puts out a nice warm white whenever motion is detected. It lasts for a few weeks between charges and sticks to the wall with a magnet. Really handy. Despite it lasting an impressive amount of time between charges, occasionally I do need to pull it off the wall, insert a micro USB cable here, and force feed it some electrons. As the internal battery discharges, the light output steadily decreases, to the point where it's not that much good at all. Unfortunately, last week I left it to the point where it was completely flat, and when I plugged it in, not much happened. So, rather than spend another £1.90 something on a new one, we're going to take it apart, find out how it works, and see if we can fix it. In case you're wondering, this is what happens when you overstimulate a small, normally very docile cat. Whoops. Let's try and get into this thing. It's going to be around here. Maybe glued? Oh. Well, that was anticlimactic, wasn't it? So it looks like we've just got a circuit board, and I'm guessing the battery is underneath. Yeah, suspicious plus and minus symbols on the circuit there. So we'll take out this one screw. Interestingly, there is a hole for another screw, but that 0.1 pence was just a little bit too much to stomach, so they've not bothered with that. Oh wow! A tiny pouch cell. 350 milliamp hours, 3.7 volts. At first I thought this had ballooned, but it's actually mounted to a sticky pad underneath, which is pushing it away from the board. The cell itself still feels pretty solid. So I think we're okay on the is it going to explode while I'm going about my business at 2 AM front, which is great news. Let's see how much voltage is in the cell. We have a fancy new multimeter. This one even has auto ranging. What a time to be alive. Okay. .7. That, I think, is over discharged. I'm guessing that's the reason it's not taking any charge when it's plugged in. Okay. What I need to do now is look up the specs for this particular cell and see just how much current we can introduce to it in a slightly forceful manner without it going all kaboomski on my office. Right, so a small amount of homework tells me that this is a cell that doesn't have any inbuilt over discharge or other protection of any kind, so we're going to need to be careful, but it also does mean that we can likely bring it back to life by just applying a little bit of power, and emphasis on a little bit. The internet suggests that the maximum current this can handle while charging is about half of its capacity, so it's going to be 175 milliamps. I've only got a 10 amp bench power supply, so this video may well get interesting, but I really hope not. I'm guessing that whatever circuitry is on this side of the board is just upset that the voltage is a little bit too low, and that's why it's refusing to charge. Let's have a look at exactly what we have got here. After some considerable time, we're back. The reason being, both ICs on this board are really small, and my eyesight isn't what it used to be. Using a magnifier, I've just about managed to get the code from this chip, which is a charge controller. meaning that this chip, which unfortunately has no information stamped on it, must control the operation of the LEDs, which are arranged in a circle, and the sensor itself in the middle. The circuit itself is impressively simple, with only a couple of passive components, and yeah, nothing on the other side, apart from that cell. Okay, let's see if we can get some charge into it via these two connections. I do have a fire extinguisher on hand if it goes all spicy pillow on me, but I'm hoping we won't need it. Let's bring in the bench power supply. I'm going to go for... oh, not that many. We'll start at the voltage we know that the cell is currently sat at, and then we'll slowly increase the current. This is by no means a sensible way to do this, so hate to say that good old line, but please don't try this at home. We've just got to get the cell level to a point where the charging circuit will recognise that the cell is there, it's healthy, and it'll start feeding current back into it. It's such a small amount of current that the constant current function is really struggling to hold it. But I think we've got it set there at 160 milliamps. So in theory, as long as we don't touch anything and leave it for a little while, it'll charge it back up without some kind of horrible pyrotechnic event happening in my very, very small office, which would be far from ideal. Wouldn't be the first time, but after what happened the last time I peed off a lithium-ion cell, I would rather not do it again. It was quite messy, and it smelt for days in here. Ho 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 ho! Right, we're not going to rely on constant current because that was a bit scary. I'm officially going to class this as none of the gear and still no idea. If you ever want to make your Tuesday morning more exciting, you don't need coffee, you don't need to go skydiving. Just try and charge a really small lithium-ion cell from a fairly beefy power supply that basically gives you zero control of the situation. I think I'm going to invest in a small bench power supply after this, something that can deal in milliamps and not amps, because I mean, sit in a dark room after this is done. Or a room that's illuminated with a gentle warm white glow. Ooh, no, 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 back down. We're going to let that power supply hit 3.7 volts and we're going to disconnect this and see if it's enough for the battery charging circuitry to recognise the cell and charge via micro USB, because my nerves are shot to bits. think that's enough of that. Let's see if it'll take a charge now. That cell's still nice and cool at least, so this is good news. That's a good sign, with a red LED. What was happening was the LED would light up for a couple of seconds and then go out. But that is on and charging. So we're going to leave that there, doing its thing, for as long as it needs, and then we'll see if it works. It's been on charge for a little while, let's see if it behaves. Happy days! I can once again go to the loo at an ungodly time of the morning and actually see what I'm doing. Fantastic. If anyone who designs these is watching, please include some circuitry that is some kind of low voltage cutout to stop the cell being drained to a point where it can't be recharged. Because I don't really want to do this again. That was pretty sketchy. But we have a result. Time to put it back together. I've left it on charge for a bit longer to give it some more juice to hopefully stop the same thing happening again. There we go. Last test. Brilliant. As much as I'm pleased that I can now go for a midnight pee without either waking up the whole house or not seeing what I'm doing, I'm not sure I'd do that again. But anyway, all's well that ends well. The office didn't burn down. Happy days. Thanks so much for watching. Of course, if you enjoyed this, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you next time. In the meantime, take care. Cheers.